Hello everyone, how's it going? Uh, I don't really want to go through and introduce myself, but I wanted to talk about a topic that I personally think is very important, especially for if you clicked on this video, you probably came for the title. Uh, Before you make a server, watch this video, a Minecraft server. Um, Just to give a quick introduction to myself, I've been in server development for Minecraft servers for 12 years now. I started in 2011 and it's currently 2023, so 12 years. It's crazy. I have no idea how 12 years has already passed, but yeah, here we are. Um, I owned four servers throughout my lifetime, two of which became relatively successful. I define successful as had more than 200 active players. One of them had well over 1,000 active at one point, with 400k registered users in the website and on the server. Um, I'm just going over this to talk about my qualifications of why I'm making these points because it's hard to trust someone online if they don't have the right qualifications. I also help develop 12 servers for friends or just clients, um, and or helped friends help out clients. And pretty much my job in the whole development world thing is uh, business management and community management, and also the development. I'm very invested in the development of the server itself. Although I do prefer when dedicated programmers do get into the whole development part for bigger projects. But for smaller projects, I can develop on my own, and I'm way overqualified to do that as well. Okay, so now that I finished talking about myself, I want to talk about what the key points anyone should consider before making a Minecraft server and what to expect once you do make a Minecraft server. So I have it like split into three different sections. The first section is talking about 3 points. The first point is running a server is like running a YouTube channel. And what does that mean? That means that if you ever made a YouTube channel, you know that you have to take a lot of care of the YouTube channel. You have to upload consistently. And sometimes you upload 10, 12, 20 videos and you only get like 5 views total in all those 20 videos in the beginning. And you have to realize that that is normal. And this type of behavior in the internet is something to expect in with such a competitive market, saturated markets. So in the beginning, you're going to have no players. In the beginning, you're gonna have no viewers. You're gonna have no interest, no nothing. The only thing you may have is friends, and even friends will lose interest if the server isn't successful, or if the server doesn't have any players on for them to play with. So you gotta remember that in the beginning, it's gonna be very lonely. You may have partners in crime that will help you through that, but in the beginning, it's going to be very, very lonely, and you gotta remember that. Okay. Step two, you or comment two. You have to find something unique to your server alone. Competition is very hard. So when you come up with a server, don't just say, okay, what's the most popular game modes in Minecraft? Oh, you got factions, prison, GTA, PvP, PvP in general, 1v1 modes. You got mini games. Oh, I'm just gonna go download mini game packs and just download a hub from some Planet Minecraft and just slap it together. Make sure I put anti cheat plus, and I'm good to go. No, that's not how it works. You're never gonna get players doing that, and I've seen hundreds and probably thousands of servers be made and fall within days, weeks, or months because they follow the exact same concepts, exact same trends, thinking that that's the most popular game mode. It is the most popular game mode in developed servers that have literally been around for over a decade. Those servers can survive in this market because they've been around for so long. So you got to remember, hey, I need to find something unique to my server. What can my server provide that other servers do not provide? I recommend stuff regarding roleplay or hardcore stuff or stuff that is a niche. And once you get a player base dedicated to your niche, they cannot go anywhere else. So they will love your server and stay focused on, like, they only play on your server because it's the only thing they find enjoyable. And oh my god, this cave is insane. Uh, and once you do that, once you find your niche, you will finally be able to start to build your player base. Okay, so let's go to point number 3. I got distracted by this cave. Keep a close eye on your players at the start and develop a strong bond with them. What do I mean by this? So, in the start, you're going to have that one player that is a diehard fan of the server. They're going to be playing on the server more than you. They're going to bother the shit out of you. They're going to keep coming, like, keep being active in the Discord chat. They're going to invite their friends. They're going to do everything they can to make the server a success because they saw something in the server that you yourself didn't even see. And those players, you have to try your hardest to make sure that you satisfy those players. I'm not saying, make them a fudging mods or make them like part of the team or a developer or whatever. No, you don't have to do that. That's not necessary at all. If you do that, it actually makes your server worse or start off worse than if you just kept them as a player. Just take feedback from them and always interact with them. Ask them for feedback. Ask them for help when in regards to inviting players. Tell them to invite their friends. Tell them to make videos on YouTube and post it, and you'll even like and subscribe to them and support them and feature them on your websites as a YouTuber or whatever. You have to in the beginning you have to build and develop, like, you have to find ways to promote your server other than spending money, because even if you're rich and you have all the money in the world and you put thousands and thousands of dollars into paying for top vote lists and being pushed to the top, players, once they join, they will see that there's no players on and they will leave. And if you did not have a dedicated community before you start advertising your server, then paying thousands of dollars to be in the top lists will do absolutely nothing, because it will be an endless cycle of players joining, seeing no one's on, and leaving, even if thousands of them do it. And I've seen this happen so many times. It even happened to me. So if before you pay for advertisement, make sure you already have a stable, developed community and of at least a minimum of 15 players that are online most of the time. I'm not talking about 24/7. No, I'm talking about in active hours. You have to have at least 15 before you start advertising to other third-party websites, paying YouTubers to make videos and all that stuff. Okay. So, let's go on to the next point, so I don't make this video too long. To keep your players, to connect this to the previous points, I made 3 points. The first point is make interactive community events, stuff to keep players coming back and to look forward to. So, if you now have, let's say, 40 players that are circulating and playing on and off throughout the week, you want to make those 40 players try to make at least 30 of them come on at one time in a specific date to see how strong the community is. Because if you manage to get 30 players to come on in one time and interact with each other, that is a huge, massive show of power of how strong your community is and how it makes it look 10 times better and feel 10 times better for your own players. So they feel like they're part of something bigger instead of feeling like they're part of nothing. So you have to start making community events. You have to make tournaments. You have to make a YouTube channel where you feature other players' videos, or a YouTube channel. For example, what I did is I made a 1v1 series where I challenge players to 1v1 me, and I would post that video, and like whoever won, I'd post a video, and I ended up being in a win streak because I was good at PvP in the time, and I went on 120 win streak, and it became every single day. It became more and more intense, and more like hyped to see who would finally beat me, and that made so many players. At that point, I think it was over 3,000 dedicated players that would they would circulate through the week and just try to join when I was online and 1v1 me, and that made a huge sense of community, and those players would love watching those videos, and they would always look forward to seeing who would be the first person to beat me. After they did eventually, someone eventually did beat me. I didn't end it there. I kept going. It was a huge shot at like the hype, and then we're all they finally. So it was like the climax of the whole movie or whatever you want to call. But people still wanted to beat me specifically. Like I would beat someone, and they would go and train and play and become better at PvP until they would get the chance to 1v1 me again, and I would give them the chance to 1v1 me again in the future, and then they would 1v1 me and they would win, and then they would feel satisfied and fulfilled, and maybe they would stop playing a few weeks later, but you left something with them, and they will come back, and they always do come back, and doing stuff like that, just something as simple as interacting with their community in a special way like that, really does build a strong bond in the start, and it makes a very unique atmosphere for your players, no matter how big the server eventually starts to become. Okay, so let's go on to the next point. I stayed on that point way too long. Promote good and dedicated players to mods. I'm not talking about right off the bat you see one player that is always on all the time and promote him. No, get to know your players on a personal level. I'm not talking personal as in family, friends. No, I'm talking about know their personality, know how stable they are mentally, know, play with them, like interact with them, know who they are as a human being, not as a real, like not their real identity, as a human being, how they are and all that. Once you find someone that you feel confident in that they would be a great asset to the server, whether it comes to giving ideas, helping moderate the community's chat or the community's website or whatever. Take that person, ask them. Don't say, "Oh, I'm giving you mod." No, ask them first. Interview them. Ask them. Say, "Hey, I'm considering making you a mod. Is that something you'd be interested in?" Start like that, and then develop the conversation. See where they are at, and if they even have the time and capacity in their life to do something like that. And if they do, even if they're only gonna be on once or twice a week, then promote them to being a moderator. That would automatically make them more dedicated to the server, and they would enjoy it, and always be a reoccurring asset to the server. Okay. Number 3. I already mentioned this in the first comment in this 3-section comment. Record everything. Every single thing you do, every community event, every thing you end up doing in the server, record it, edit it, and upload it to YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're going to post it. Record it and post it. You want to have memories for yourself and for your players in the future. And you're gonna be extremely happy when 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, when you can open your YouTube channel, look at what you've done and what you've successfully accomplished with your community, and reminisce on the good times. I did that myself, and been the best decision I've ever done in my life. To this day, I look at videos that I posted 12 years ago, and I still have them up on YouTube. And I watch them, and I sometimes even cry a little when I see how amazing the community that I built or my friends built was, and all the friends we made all along the way. And you can see the chat and what people are talking about in the time and all that stuff. It's very amazing stuff. So record everything, literally everything and anything you can record it. Make as many videos as you possibly can with the limited time you have, and enjoy it while you're doing it. Okay. Even your players, by the way, the coolest thing is seeing a player that didn't you didn't see for like 8 years suddenly leave a comment on one of your YouTube videos saying, "Oh my god, I remember 1v1ing you," and feeling so happy after I won. Like, just seeing comments like that is makes your day, and you're gonna really be happy that you did it. Okay, the last comments, the last three comments, and I'm gonna go really fast with these because I've already been recording for 16 minutes, and yeah, I'm gonna upload this video raw. To sustain the business, in the end of the day, you're making this server for either business or just because you want to make a community, regardless of what it is. How do you sustain the server for a long period of time? A successful server in Minecraft usually lives around 4 years. That's the life cycle of a normal server. Some servers somehow manage to live for longer than that. All my servers have either died, like the best one has died after 4.5 years. And the reasons for its downfall was bad business management. The community was still very strong, but because we were, like, how do I say this, a little too hasty in upgrading the servers. Once there was a few bad months, it became unsustainable and there was no way to downgrade, so the only option was to shut down. And it was something honestly devastating. You do not want to go through that a lot. So, to sustain the business, be reasonable with your investments. That's number one. When you start a server off, make sure that if you're paying for paid host, make sure it's something sustainable and easy to do every single month, because you're going to be paying out of your own pockets in the first few months, first few years maybe. And when you pay out of your pockets, for me personally, I have no problem paying out of my own pocket because it's something that I love and I enjoy, and I feel fulfilled that I even have a server. Okay. Others, no. It's an actual burden on their life, and they would rather keep that money and buy coffee with it or something. For me, I would not drink coffee for months just to keep my server running. I don't care. So be reasonable with your investments. Try to find the best, cheapest service to run your server, and only upgrades when it's absolutely necessary. And make sure that you, whatever you upgrade to, you can personally fund with whatever current income you have, whether you're a kid taking money from your parents or whether you're a guy that's working and you have your own personal bills. Make sure that this is going to be a monthly bill, so make sure that it is sustainable and you can continue to keep paying it regardless of what happens in your personal life. Because having to shut down a server when it's fully developed because you couldn't afford the host is a devastating feeling, and it's happened to me personally, and you would not want to go through that because you feel powerless. Um, Never rely on donations because or people buying stuff on your server, because when it comes to server hosting, because in the first year or two, you will not have enough to fully run your server just from donations alone, unless you get very lucky with very generous players, and those generous players will run out eventually. Whatever you get from donations, reinvest into the server. Don't keep it to yourself. or this is my personal opinion, don't keep it to yourself. Reinvest it into the server and make it like paying for more months forward. Like pay months forward, pay 8 months forward, 7 months forward, and save up the bill amount that you ended up saving from your own side to keep as backup or whatever, because uh, eventually you're going to need that backup. And if you want to keep the server running and not shut it down, you need to use that backup. So be reasonable with your investments. Number two, do a monthly review of how everything is going and keep a close eye on numbers to see problems. This is a very heavy part, but I'm going to keep it very short. What you want to do is you want to review everything that is going on in the server. You want to keep a close eye on numbers. You want to make sure that you are growing and not stagnating. And if you aren't stagnating, you have to find a way to get out of that stagnation. It is hard sometimes, especially if you have no experience. It is very hard to know where the problems are, but with time, you'll eventually develop skills and knowledge about your business and find the gaps of where you went wrong and your shortcomings and how to fix that. Sometimes you do nothing wrong, but it just doesn't work out, and that's how life is. It doesn't matter. That's how life is. So keep track of everything and make sure that what you're doing is always part of the bigger picture, and eventually you will have such a good view of the server or of your business that you will be able to do anything, and no one will be able to like affect you in sustaining the server itself. Okay, I don't know if that made any sense. It will definitely make sense to people that are into business management. But for me, what I used to do is I used to write a monthly review of the server as a document, and I used to have a lot of Excel sheets, keeping track of numbers, keeping track of player retention, keeping track of everything that you can possibly keep track of, just to see the bigger picture and where the server is heading. Okay, and the last point I want to talk about in this video is have a lot of patience. Building a community takes a lot of time. There is no such thing as I'm going to make a server and it's suddenly going to have hundreds or thousands of players right off the bat. That never happened in existence, except for when a YouTuber that already has hundreds and thousands of subscribers made a server and they got their players to play. And even those servers didn't last that long because they didn't do the proper community build, like community building. You gotta always remember that in the beginning, there's going to be no players. So any players whatsoever that join the server and play on it is a blessing for the first year. The second year, if you don't have at least 15 active players that rotate throughout the week, so you log in in the weekend and you see like 8 of them online. If you don't have at least that, then you're doing something wrong. So you got to review yourself, and that's where the business reviewing your business comes into play. You got to review yourself. You got to make sure you have a lot of patience, and eventually you guys will get there. If you guys have any thoughts about anything I talked about, or if you want to criticize me or whatever, then leave a comment down below. And if you even want me to, for example, check out your server, you guys can, leave your IP down in the comments. I don't mind. You can let players check out your server and see if it's worthy for their time to play on or whatever. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you gained. I hope I was of value in anything regarding server development and what to expect in the Minecraft community. The community right now is not that big, and it's very competitive. And the only players that end up finding these like niche new servers are very curious players that wandered off from the huge tycoons of servers that have like 50, 60K players because they wanted something unique and personal. So you got to keep that in mind. This stuff does takes time, and it will definitely be very rewarding in the end if you do finally achieve your goal. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Thanks for watching. Peace.